How's it going, everyone? Skwizzit here, and I'll be going over how you can build your 7-star Tera Raid Charizard for in-game purposes. We'll be taking a look at this monster in-game and on Pokemon Showdown. Let's jump into it. First things first, I'll be keeping Charizard's Dragon Tera typing to stay true to the event. I like keeping event-specific details on Pokemon just as a little memento. Moving on to the item, it really comes down to personal preference, but some held items of note that I really like for Charizard include the Life Orb, Choice Specs, and Wise Glasses. Life Orb boosts your attack by 30% at the cost of 10% HP after each attack that connects. Choice Specs will raise Charizard's special attack by 50% automatically, but you'll be locked into one move. It's powerful, but be careful with it. With great power comes great responsibility. The last item I mentioned is the Wise Glasses. This held item will give Charizard a 10% boost to all of his special attacks, and there's no downside like Life Orb or Choice Specs. I personally like to run Life Orb on Charizard for a nice boost in damage, but we need to be careful with Charizard's ability. Solar Power is a fantastic ability. It reads, if Sunny Day is active, this Pokemon's special attack is 1.5 times, but it loses 1/8 of its HP each turn. Essentially, this ability gives you Choice Specs for free without using up your item slot while Charizard is in the sun. It's a huge 50% boost, but be careful if you choose to go with a Life Orb like me. Life Orb and Solar Power will end up quickly chipping away at your health. Aside from that, two Pokemon that would be incredible teammates for Charizard would have to be Torkoal, who has the ability Drought, and Koraidon, who has a very similar ability that summons Harsh Sunlight. When Pokemon Home is added, we'll also have access to Ninetales, who has the ability Drought as well. Taking a look at the moves now, you'll notice that I only changed two of Charizard's default moves. I've swapped Fire Blast for Flamethrower and Hurricane with Air Slash. These moves aren't as powerful as the default options, but they provide so much more consistency, and I like actually connecting with my attacks during a battle. Now, I'm going to quickly contradict myself here with Focus Blast. I'm not a huge fan of this move's 70% accuracy, but I'm a fan of hitting Rock-type Pokemon for super effective damage, so I opted to keep Focus Blast on the set. The last move is Dragon Pulse. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Charizard's Tera type is Dragon, so you'll want to keep a Dragon-type attack on Charizard. This is the best Dragon-type special attack that Charizard has access to, so it's here to stay. Another move to be aware of is Solar Beam. It's another great option to hit water types as long as you're in the sun so you don't have to power up on the first turn. Now let's take a look at Charizard's stats by jumping in game before coming back to Pokemon Showdown. After you catch your Charizard, it's already level 100, so there's no level grinding necessary. Its default nature is Modest, which is a fantastic nature on the specific Charizard. It gives you a bonus to your special attack stat and a decrease to your attack stat. For this set, we're not using any physical attack, so this is perfectly fine. This Charizard also has all 6 of its IVs already maxed out, so you don't have to waste any bottle caps to get perfect IVs, which is really nice. Game Freak set us up well with this one. The only thing you have to do to make this thing an absolute unit is EV train it. Let's go back and take a look. I'd personally recommend keeping Charizard's Modest nature for more power, but if you want more speed, go with a Timid nature. I personally maxed out Charizard's speed and special attack stats with 252 EVs each. If you're using Charizard for solo raids or after Pokemon Home has been updated, I'd recommend that you max out your HP EVs instead of speed for more survivability. Now let's move on to the second build. This build is a little wacky and scary to use at times, but it's incredibly fun to use. This is a Belly Drum Zard. For the item, we'll need to do something for recovery after using Belly Drum like a Citrus Berry or a Shell Bell. Both are solid options in my opinion. Charizard is sort of frail, so relying on a Shell Bell could be a little risky, but it all comes down to what you personally want to use. We'll also have to change Charizard's ability back to Blaze using an ability patch. That's because Solar Power becomes useless since naturally, we'll be using all physical attacks with Belly Drum. For the moveset, I've gone with Belly Drum, Fire Punch, Dragon Claw, and Earthquake. You could use a more powerful physical fire type move like Flare Blitz, but that recoil will probably kill you. So it's not a good idea. Fire Punch has to be the one. Of course, this is just my personal preference, so use whichever moves you feel like using. As for the nature and EVs, I've gone with an Adamant nature to maximize Charizard's attack stat. You can easily change Charizard's nature in-game by using an Adamant Mint. The EV spread I'm using is 252 EVs in attack and 252 EVs in HP for extra damage and bulk. Again, be very careful with this build as it'll probably be very risky to take into raids. Just have fun with it. That wraps this one up, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed this or found it helpful, make sure to leave a like as it does help out immensely. Comment down below with your tips and suggestions and subscribe to stay up to date with what I have going on. I've been Skwizzit, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.